All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to tackle a massive question that every single business faces. In a world with endless data and noise, how do you find the right customer at the right time? We're going to pull back the curtain and see how AI can take all that raw data and turn it into really smart, profitable decisions. Let's do this. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Just imagine you run a website. You've got thousands, maybe millions of people clicking around. You can't just send a 20% off coupon to every single one of them. That costs a fortune, and frankly, it would just annoy most people. So how do you find that needle in the haystack? Who is on the very edge of making a purchase? So here's the game plan. We need to build a smart filter, a system that can look at all our customers and just rank them, from most likely to buy right now, all the way down to just kicking the tires. When you have that list, your marketing team can focus their time, their money, and their energy where it's actually going to make a difference. Okay, so to build anything with AI, you need fuel. And in our world, that fuel is data. So let's start there, with the raw ingredients. These are the digital breadcrumbs, the little clues our customers leave behind every time they visit our site. For our project, we're going to zero in on two really powerful signals. First up is the engagement score. You can think of this like their digital body language. Are they clicking on lots of products? How long are they spending on each page? Then you've got the spending score, which is way more straightforward. How much money have they spent with us in the past? It's what they say with their clicks versus what they've done with their wallet. Let's get specific. Engagement score, that's clicks, time on site, that kind of stuff. Spending score, that's their purchase history. But here's the secret sauce, the target label. This is where we look back in time. We take a past marketing campaign, and for every single customer, we label them. Did they buy? Yes or no? That's it. This becomes the answer key that our AI is going to learn from. Okay, so we've got our ingredients. Now it's time to actually build the brain of this whole operation, the AI model itself. And really, all we're doing is creating a very smart sorting machine that can look at our data and make a really good educated guess. And you know what? The process is actually way more straightforward than you might think. It really just boils down to 3 steps. First, we design the structure of our AI brain. Second, we train it. We feed it all that historical data with the answers. And third, once it's learned the patterns, we let it loose on new customers to make predictions. Define, train, predict. Simple. Now, that term we use for this brain is a neural network. And I know that sounds super technical and intimidating. But at its core, it's just a pattern-finding machine. That's its entire job. It looks at all the engagement and spending scores, and it just tries to learn the invisible line that separates the people who tend to buy from the ones who don't. So after all that number crunching, what does the AI actually figure out? Well, it learns a rule that's surprisingly simple. It realizes that it's not just about a high engagement score or a high spending score on its own. Nope. The magic happens when they are both high together. That combination is the absolute strongest signal that someone is about to buy. Great. So we built our model, it's making predictions, but how do we know if it's any good? We can't just take its word for it, right? We have to grade it. We need to give it a report card to see how well it actually performed. And this is its report card. The technical name is a confusion matrix, but don't let that fool you, it's pretty simple. The green boxes, top left and bottom right, those are our wins. We correctly predicted not buy 87 times, and we correctly predicted buy 91 times. Awesome. The other 2 boxes are our misses. We thought 9 people would buy, but they didn't. And even worse, we missed 13 people who actually did buy. This leads us to our first really important metric, precision. This asks a really practical business question. Of all the people we pointed to and said, that person is going to buy, how often were we right? High precision is amazing because it means we're not wasting our marketing dollars on people who aren't interested. And the flip side of that is recall. This asks a totally different question. Of all the people out there who were genuinely ready to hand over their money, how many of them did our model actually find? High recall is how you maximize sales and make sure you're not leaving any money on the table. And this right here, this is the central strategic choice. See, you can tune your model. Do you want to be super precise and only contact people you're absolutely sure about? Or do you want to cast a wider net to catch every possible sale, even if it means you contact a few wrong people along the way? There's no right answer. It all depends on your business and what's more costly, a wasted offer or a missed sale. So, when all is said and done, how did our little model do?
A very respectable 89% accuracy. That means about 9 times out of 10, it got the prediction right. For a first try, that is a fantastic result that could already provide a ton of value.
Okay, now for the most important part of all. We have these scores. We know the model is pretty accurate. So what? Who cares? How do we actually turn all this math into more sales and a smarter marketing department?
This is where the AI becomes a real playbook. The marketing team can now go straight to the top of that ranked list and focus their efforts there. They can experiment with the cutoff score to find that perfect sweet spot between precision and recall that makes the most money. And, this is key, they have to keep an eye on it because customer behavior is always changing.
Before we wrap this all up, there's one last topic we absolutely have to cover. Because using this kind of tech is powerful. But with great power comes, well, we need some rules of the road to make sure we're building something that's not just smart, but also responsible.
It really comes down to 3 big things. First, fairness. You gotta make sure your model isn't accidentally biased against certain groups of customers. Second, privacy. This is huge. Only use the data you absolutely need, and be transparent about it. It's how you build trust. And third, explainability. You need to be able to understand why the AI made a certain decision. If you can't explain it, you can't trust it, and you can't fix it when it's wrong.
And there you have it. We've gone all the way from raw data to a real, actionable AI strategy. So the next time you get an email or an ad that feels like it was made just for you, well, now you've got a pretty good idea of the science that's going on behind the scenes, which kind of leaves you with one last thought. How is this going to change the way your favorite brands talk to you?